come to Baba, we receive Baba's introduction. Yes, and Baba says that in the world, people don't have my introduction, but you have my introduction. And when we talk about parichay or introduction, it includes 6 things. So the name, the form, the address, the qualities, the occupation, and the relationship. There are 6 things in the introduction. And I think that, as Brahmin souls, we focus on 5 of them. So, we are very clear about Baba's name, Baba's form, Baba's address. So where does Baba live? So Baba lives in the soul world. His name is Shiv Baba. His form is a point of light. Clear? This is clear, right? What are his qualities? So he is the ocean of virtues and powers. That is also clear. What is his occupation? So he comes in Sangam Yuga and creates Satyug. So that's his occupation. But what about relationship? Do we have clarity about that? So Baba says, I am your mother, father, brother, friend, teacher, Satguru, surgeon, beloved. Baba says, I am the father of fathers and the husband of husbands. So, do I understand that this is my relationship with Baba? I am a soul and I am in all relationships with Baba. And have you seen the so we have all been in Lokik relationships, yes? So let's just understand this one thing. So there's this one brother and he told me that, I am 47 years of age and I live abroad and I'm into a very well-paying job, so well-paying that I may not have to work after 50 also. And he said that when I come home to my Lokik parents, then my Lokik father has a sanskar of controlling everybody. Okay, so what he does is, when it is winter and it is time to take bath, so he would say that the water in the geyser is hot. So you immediately go and take bath, otherwise that hot water will be wasted. And even if I am in the middle of a meeting call, I have to go and take bath at that time because my father will get very upset if I don't do that. Now you see, I am a billionaire, he told me, and I cannot waste hot water because my father will get upset because of that. And as soon as he tells me, my mother is out of the bathroom and you go and take bath, I have to immediately go and do that. So he said, I do not understand why I behave like this in front of them. And I can't help it. And I feel it's the most normal thing to do when I'm with them. But I sometimes feel that pressure, when I have to come to them, visit them, I feel this pressure. So you see that when there is a physical parent, physical teacher, physical guru, when there is somebody you can see with your eyes, there is a husband, or there is a beloved, or there is a friend, you know that when you are in a relationship with somebody, then you cannot do as your heart wishes. You take care of what they like and how they would want you to be. And why do you do all that? Because you have certain expectations in that relationship. And you think that if you fulfill one part of the bargain, then they would fulfill another part of the bargain. And it may not be, it may not be a financial need. It may not be some need which is very physical. It could just be the need of appreciation and approval. But even when you are seeking that, you have to fulfill your part of the bargain, don't you? So let's say even if a soul is just seeking approval from parents, so there is this deep desire for approval. So even if the child has grown up and he doesn't need the property of parents, he has everything, and he's a self-made person, still he would go and behave like this in front of the parents, because there is this need that you feel from parents, and that need may be just the need for approval or recognition, but that need also drives you. Now Baba says that in every relationship you need something, and then you are looking for that thing in a relationship, and because of that neediness you behave well in that relationship, right? So you take care that you don't ruffle the emotions of the other. Now Baba says that even if you did all of that, you checked all the tick boxes and you did everything according to their expectations, can you still guarantee that they will give you what you expect from them? So I've seen souls, who crave for approval, and they spend all their life pleasing the other soul, so that the soul gives them some approval, some something that you matter and you're worthy. So they just want that soul to once say that you matter and you're worthy, but they die but don't say that. So I've seen that also happen. So even if you laid your life at stake and you did everything, still it may or may not be that you get what you are seeking in a physical relationship. And then there is this other question, which is, what are you actually seeking? Because we think that we need approval from others, but what we actually need is self-esteem. So we have been conditioned to think that you need approval, appreciation, acceptance from others, but what you actually need is self-esteem. What you actually need is to know that you are worthy anyway. So you are worthy, you matter, you are valuable anyway, without, even if nobody tells you you're worthy, you are still worthy. So that's what you actually need. You think you need silence, you think you need privacy, but what you need is peace. And peace doesn't come from the external environment. So we really don't know what we are seeking. So Baba says that what you really need is to know the truth, is to be knowledgeful, to be pure, peaceful, loveful, happy, blissful, powerful. This is what you actually need. But you have been conditioned to, to think that these things will come from outside and from people, places, and things. And this is why you are hankering after them day in and day out. But you are making very good effort there. So, although that effort may not lead to anything, but the kind of, what do you say, the kind of honesty and commitment with which we are seeking it in relationships and in attainments and jobs and money is praiseworthy. So, we are making a very good effort behind that. But Baba says that now I can give you what you really need. And in this relationship, so Baba says, I am your true parent, true teacher, true Satguru, true beloved, true husband, yes, true surgeon. So, whatever you are seeking in every relationship outside, I am the one who can actually give all that to you. And Baba says, in every relationship, whatever you are seeking, that seeking is a product of the memory you are carrying, that God came and gave you all of that. So Baba says, basically, you will get everything in this relationship with me. But do I forge that relationship with Baba? That is the question. So when there is one person, some physical person, even if that person is not in a very deep relationship with you, but you know that they don't like something or they would want you to do something, and then you didn't do it for 4 days, and then on the 5th day you will do it even for that one relationship which doesn't matter to you, because you think when somebody is physical, you recognize their needs, their expectations, and you do it. But just because Baba is not physical, and Baba doesn't you don't see Baba with these eyes. This is why we don't care for most of Baba's Shrimad. Yes. So just think about a scenario when you came to the center and you're spending 5 days in the center. Would you dare to sleep in the morning at Amrit Vela? You wouldn't sleep in the center in Amrit Vela. Why? Because souls are there and Baba's children are watching you. But think about the fact that Baba is watching you every day. And then you don't care about that relationship. And although you trust, maybe you trust me also that I won't judge you. So even if you're fully aware that if you sleep I won't judge you, still you wouldn't take that chance. So although I could be very loveful to you during the day, and I could tell you, so maybe you were tired so you slept, but still you wouldn't do that. Why? Because you understand that in this relationship this is what you should do. But it is not in this relationship or this environment that you should do it actually. What matters is this relationship with Shiv Baba. And Shiv Baba has come from the soul world, and he is hoping, he is inspiring us to get up in the morning and meditate and remember Baba and fill ourselves with power and give sustenance to the whole world. And we sleep anyway, and we don't care about Baba. So, where is that relationship with Baba? So, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because when the relationship is physical, there is a lot of concern and care, and there is a lot of interest in fulfilling what the other person wants from you. But in this relationships, we don't show that much of care. We don't show that much of interest in doing what Baba says, exactly as Baba says. And Baba says this is the only relationship in which, if you cared about what I want from you, then you would get everything that you're seeking and needing. Yes, so, and today Baba gives a very good example. Baba says that there is a system in the world, and you must have heard about it. There was sati in India, the pratha of sati. And Baba says in that sati pratha, what people did was, so wives would just go and burn themselves after the husband. So if the husband died, then the wife would also go and burn their body after the husband. And then it was said that, if in the Shastras also it is said that if the wife did that, then she would go and be with the husband, in the next life. But the thing is that a fantastic idea that you go and be with that husband in the next life? Because that husband is a vicious person, is like any other vicious person around you. So why do you have to make so much effort to come in Kali Yuga with a vicious person and go and burn yourself behind that? If you came with anybody, it would be the same thing. So why make that extra effort for a vicious person? But Baba says that people in bhakti do that, and they end their lives after a vicious person also. And that is the kind of sense of relationship they have for a vicious husband. And I will tell you, so there was this Mata, she was working as a maid in the center for some time back, many years back. and when so once once she was all black and blue, all over, and she was beaten very badly. And then I asked her what happened, and I had not even thought she would have been beaten up. I thought maybe she had had a fall or something. And then I asked her, what happened to your face and your body? And she said, my husband beat me up. So I said, why don't you go to the police, or why don't you you seek some help, you seek some legal help or something? So she said, no, but he's my husband. So I said, are you telling me you really care for somebody who beats you up like that? So she said, no, but anyways, he's my husband, so I can't take legal action against him. So I can't do that. I can't put him into trouble. That's what she said. So you see, this is the kind of dynamic we have in relationships these days. And I will tell you another story. There was this Mata, and she cried, and she showed me all the those bruises from the beatings that the husband had given her. And she showed me all of that, and she told me that one day her husband had a fight with her, and she was taking bath, and he pulled her out of the bathroom naked and just paraded her in the balcony of the apartment in which they were living. And she said that this is the kind of treatment my husband gave me. And then I sought legal help, and then I took a divorce, and now my divorce is underway. And then she started crying badly. And then I asked her, why are you crying? You are in trauma of what happened, and that's what's causing you pain. So she cried and cried and cried, and later she said, I miss that person. And you just think about it and say, so you see, there is, so when the soul is patit, so when the soul is depleted and the buddhi is not functioning, then this is the kind of relationships we have. So this is the kind of, so when Baba says that a vicious soul doesn't have the power to discern and decide, what it means is you don't even know, where your allegiance should be. So, you are being driven by the logic of attachment and lust and ego, and you can't see the truth of everything. So, it's not a matter of, hating somebody or something else. So, Baba doesn't say that you have hard feelings, but at least you should have the sense and sensibility of who to miss. So, or who to remember. So that's the, so Baba says that, but when the soul is vicious and the logic of lust and attachment and ego is operating, then you are doing things which are very against any kind of sensibility. So Baba says all through the 2500 years you have done that. You have burnt yourself alive after husbands who are vicious and who are going to anyway come and take birth into vicious worlds, and I don't know what benefit there is in going to that pati lok, that logic is very faulty, but that is the logic with which we live in life. But now Baba says that if you actually applied some sense and you forged that same relationship with me, you had that same dynamic, that same commitment, that same allegiance, that same surrender to me as you did to a physical husband, then I would take you and make you the queen of Satyug. So, but do we show that same level of commitment and allegiance to Baba? So, in the world, when there is a wife, she will always wake up before the husband. So, she will wake up before the husband. She will ensure that the breakfast is ready, this is ready, that is ready. But do I understand that Shiv Baba is the husband of husbands? And Baba says that here it is not gender specific. It's not like the physical wife only. Every soul's husband is Shiv Baba. So even when you are in a male body or a female body, so can you have that kind of a relationship with Baba? And you really care for, you really care for his wishes, and you really wake up before him, you do whatever he wants. And Baba said, if you burnt yourself on the pyre of knowledge, rather than burning yourself on that pyre of fire, then I would take you across and give you the kingship of heaven. So this is something that Baba is talking about, and Baba is talking about many things in the Murli today. So you have to go through the Murli many times to register all of that. And another thing which I think is very important to discuss is that suicide. So, I was once talking to one sister, and she's a psychiatrist, and so I told her that, most people have some or the other time in their life thought about suicide. So, even if it's just one fleeting thought in the whole lifetime, but they have thought about suicide. Is it not? So, when you see a mountain or you see an ocean or see something or the other, so there is one thought, you go and never come back or something like that. So, even if it's just a fleeting thought, so most people go through that. And then, so I was just asking her, so what according to your psychological, that study, so what according to you is the reason why people have suicidal thoughts? So she told me that so suicide is the thought that comes when a soul is caught up in a situation where they think there is no other escape. So, when you have been in any situation where you have tried to escape in many ways, and then you have calculated mentally, and you think that you cannot escape from this situation in any way, then you think about suicide, because the programming is, because that sister is in Gyan. So we discussed this, and then we came to the conclusion that since the programming is that if you die, you can escape. So if you die, if you leave the body, then you can escape the situation. And suicide is basically in the mind, at least, it's a method of escape. And that's why, when these days people talk about suicidal tendencies. And what is a suicidal tendency? So when you are in a situation where you are feeling very trapped or caught up, even if it's just because of how you're thinking, so but you cannot disregard that. So even when you are in a situation where you feel you're trapped and caught up, and then you feel you have no way to come out of it, then every other minute you will think about ending this life, or separating the soul from the body and then leaving the body. So because you think that is a method of escape, and that is why there are so many suicides in the world. But Baba says that the real reason why people are committing suicide is because they don't have the knowledge that you can't escape like this. So nobody has told them that even if you kill this body and this body, you are not escaping anywhere. So you will go to a different body, take up a different body, and be in the exactly same circumstances as you are in right now. It will just be a different body, that's it. But you cannot escape like this. It's not possible. And if only souls knew this, then they would never commit suicide, because that's not serving the purpose for which it is intended to be done. So Baba says you cannot escape like that, and however much you don't like it, but you have to settle your account and then leave. So Baba says, you want a better life, you want better circumstances, I am the one who is telling you how to do that. And even if you are in a family setting, so Baba says, even if you are in a family setting, even if you are you may be in a work setting, in a family setting, you are a householder, still it is possible, very much possible for you to change that setting and go to heaven in a world where there is no problems, no grievances. And how do you do that? By doing these four things. What are the four things? First is use the sword of knowledge. Use the sword of knowledge. Baba says, don't use the sword of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. Use the sword of knowledge in that family setting. So whenever there is a vighan, a trouble, whatever, deal with it with knowledge. Yes. Then second thing Baba says is keep rotating the Swadershan Chakra. Keep thinking about who I am, who I belong to, where do I come from, what is my purpose, what has been my journey. So instead of thinking about what's happening, what is the other person doing, what is going to happen, just think about who you are, what's your relationship with God, how powerful you are. Think about your qualities, your virtues, your deity form, your journey. So keep doing that. Then the third thing Baba says is blow the conch shell, which is share this knowledge with everybody. Speak knowledgefully. Speak knowledgefully, because when you speak knowledgefully, then it serves the purpose of communication. So, when you speak knowledgefully, when you speak in an aware state, and you're choosing the right language, the right words, and you are talking about things that are possible, and you are inspiring others also with those words, then that is the way to create a powerful environment. And fourth, Baba says, embrace purity, live like a lotus, don't engage in lust. So instead of committing suicide, do these things. So Baba says these things will help you escape. So you can actually escape from this sorrowful setting and go to a peaceful and happy setting by doing these things. And Baba says suicide doesn't help. So you may commit 24, 25 suicides, doesn't help. You end up in the same situation over and over again. So this is something that Baba is saying. And then today Baba also talks about, this thing in bhakti where, we think that wealth is everything, and we think that, being wealthy is very important. But Baba says the wealth of Kali Yuga is more a source of sorrow than happiness. So Baba says even for wealth to be a source of happiness, you need to be a powerful soul. Because you see that if you are a weak soul and you understand that if there is a weak soul and in a powerful position, then there will be abuse of power. Yes, so if you have any questions about whatever points was discussed, this will be posted so you can check, okay? So you can go through the class again once it's posted in YouTube. So Baba says that you see that in the world, if there is a weak soul, a soul without discernment, judgment, without virtues, and you put them in a powerful position, so in a position where they can do whatever they want to do, then they will end up abusing that position. Yes, and the same is for wealth also. So if a soul is not sensible and a soul is not powerful, and then that soul has wealth, that person has a lot of wealth, then what happens is they end up creating sorrow for themselves and others because of the wealth. Yes, and I remember there was this one brother, and he told me that so when he was so when he came to he first came to the center, he was unemployed, but then he got a job, and he got a very well paying job. And then one day he told me, Didi, मैं एक बात बताऊं आपको. So I said, you tell me. So he said, I always thought that having a lot of money would be a good thing, but now that I have a lot of money, I'm a very bad person. So I said, how? So he said, all day what I'm doing is I'm doing window shopping on Flipkart and Myntra. So I'm doing that, and then I'm always thinking about what to buy and where to buy, and I'm buying unnecessary stuff, and then I'm investing my money in the stocks, and I've started that trading also, because you get very greedy when you have some money, and I have no peace of mind, I have no direction, I don't know what I'm doing. And I think spending that money has become a bigger trouble than earning that money, because earning that money is not a big trouble. My job is pretty cool and there is no problem there, but I'm spending a lot of my time, wasting a lot of my time just thinking about how to spend it. And he told me, Didi, you do something about it, otherwise this money will drive me crazy. So he said, and I have this selfish desire, so I don't want to give it to anybody, and this and that. So this is a vicious soul, a vicious soul who doesn't want to use it for any good purpose. And then whatever purposes are left are all vicious, and that money is driving you crazy, because every resource on which you spend it is vicious. And so this is the problem in Kali Yuga. And just think about all the things that are good, they come free, and all the things that cost a lot actually damage you. So this is the thing in Kali Yuga. And then Baba says, so you have to be in Satyug to enjoy wealth also. And at this time, try to use your wealth in seva as much as you can, because that's the only way to multiply it. Otherwise, that wealth will become a cause of sorrow in Kali Yuga.